All right, I'll get things kicked off. We're about 10 minutes late. Sorry, guys. It's just give the other people a little bit of grace to get here because it is a hard place to find, apparently. A few of you have texted in. So if no one knows me, or someone doesn't know me, sorry, I should say, my name is John Duncanson. I have been part of the local football scene for since I was 6. So know these two guys well, Bill and Ken. Obviously, I think everyone in Townsville should know these gentlemen. If you don't, please introduce yourself because they will be talking a lot tonight. And introduce yourself at the end of the night, but they'll be talking a lot tonight about the technical side and the football side of things. So I'll just start with also our safety side of things, and the loos are down the end there of the corridor near the elevator. Okay, so you do have to go outside and down back near the elevator. You can stay on this level, but you just got to go down towards the main elevator shaft down there. And if there is an emergency, we're going to exit out of these two doors here and in a calm manner. And then please don't use that elevator there. We've got stairs there. And then if you would like, you can also exit on the stairs just down the way there. And then we'll all meet out on the lawn and we'll tick off the sheets that we've ticked off and make sure everyone's out there. Okay. All right, well, without further explanation, we'll get cracking. Okay, so directors and coaches. There are 3 directors in the Football Academy. That's Ken, Bill and myself. If Ken keeps his glasses on his head, you'll be right for the rest of the night.
So will you.
All right? Yeah.
So will you.
Okay. And then, so obviously Ken and Bill are the holding body here, and it's basically been born out of their ideas. Okay, and I'm here pretty much to facilitate and make sure these gentlemen stay here in Townsville. So you'll see there the coaches. Okay, so Bill and Ken obviously will be leading the coaching team. Then we have Mr. Ryan Murphy. Come down the front, please. Okay, so if you haven't met Ryan before, again, please introduce yourself. He'll be part of the coaching team for outfield players, but also part of the goalkeeping team as well. Okay, then we have Matthew Mitchell. Hopefully you guys all know him. He's been coaching already in the Fury program. And obviously with a last name like that, you presume he is Bill's son. So, all right, and then we've got Jennifer Golson. Jennifer's here as another coach, experienced coach. Also has a really good way with both boys and girls teams. Okay, so we brought Jennifer in to crack the whip, basically. She's just been out doing that, I think. All right, so I'll go through the next slide. Okay, so I'm just going to take this moment to thank our partners. All right, so in starting up this academy, we thought long and hard about who our partners need to be to start up, okay, and have a professional approach to the academy. So North Queensland Physio Centre. John Crawley is here today. Crawley, sorry. All right, John's going to be talking a bit later about the physio's impact on the academy and the services they're going to offer, again at the academy, but also as a incentive as well to go over there. Okay, they're on Tharangower Drive. Then we have Escape Travel. Again, another person we needed to talk to because again I've been in town for a while. I know a few people around town like John and Debbie from Escape Travel, and she was happy to take the opportunity to team up with us and work with us in our endeavours. Again, we'll explain what that is later. You may have seen on Facebook already our post about the Sports Reserve. Okay, so again, we thought long and hard about a neutral ground. Okay, No clubs training at it. So that was one of the main things. It obviously needed to be a good quality field. Okay, I've played out at Wallaroo for a long time, and I understand what a bobble is and how hard it is to work sometimes, to play sometimes. So I guarantee you these grounds are always flat, always manicured. It's like a golf green. So we'll be utilising all of the facilities, and we'll touch on that a bit later as well. Okay. Advantage signs, you've seen our logos, hopefully, a lot of, and these guys have come to the party with some banners. You would have seen the other one on the stairwell, hopefully. We've taken also a guy called Todd who works there. He's pretty cool at making logos, so hopefully all the young ones like our logo as well. It's quite a good design, I thought. So later on we'll touch on kit and obviously jerseys and shorts and things like that. Red Line agencies, Bill and Ken know Mark very well, and he's obviously been in the industry a long time. We'll show you guys later what we're going to proceed with in that sense. And last but not least, JCU. We've got Teisha here from JCU. She's part of the marketing team, and she's going to explain a bit more about what's happening out at JCU. Okay. Obviously, we're very thankful for using this awesome facility. Okay, it's pretty much brand new, and you'll notice that everything we're doing in here is state of the art, including, and what I do probably need to mention, is a recording that's happening. Okay, so the setup will be recorded tonight, and we'll be putting it together and posting it online later on for those who couldn't make it. All right. One more. Sorry, I shouldn't have said last but not least. This is definitely a big thank you to all the parents and guardians and players that have both commented, shown interest, and come along tonight on the start of what we're hoping is a very exciting venture for Townsville, but for the academy to move forward. We couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you very much for attending tonight. All right, so I will now hand over to Teisha. I'll give you a microphone if that's all right, Teisha. Thank you very much.
No worries. So a little bit of a mistake there. I'm actually from Sport and Recreation at JCU, but that's okay. I think, yeah, that's all right. No worries at all. So essentially I've just been asked to come here today to give a little bit of insight about the future of sport at JCU. We've just undergone a very big master planning process. So we have got the key stakeholders involved. We've got students, we've got staff, we've got all kinds of very expensive people to come along and basically tell us what the community needs and what JCU students and JCU staff need to have the best facilities possible, not just for students but also for the whole community. So they have come up with a vision of a sporting precinct at JCU. So this is not something that's going to happen in the next year. This is an ongoing plan, so potentially the next 10 years, the next 20 years, who knows. But there is definitely some changes in terms of planning. So a sport board has just been passed through JCU Council. So it's a group of people who are working on getting grants and funding, creating partnerships with local community groups such as this one to try and get a much stronger foothold for community sport out here at JCU. Like John has said, we do have state-of-the-art facilities, and sport essentially is next on the list. So it's really an exciting time for us here. So the idea behind it, like I said, is not just to engage students but engage the community. And part of our vision is to try and get the next generation of JCU students on campus before they're even JCU students. So hence why I'm here talking to you guys today. They have wanted to make it a sticky campus. The word sounds really funny, but essentially they want people to not just come here for their studies, but they want people to come here for events, for community groups, for graduation ceremonies, and they want to use JCU's campus as a community space for you guys to operate in. So it's really good to see this already starting. So in terms of the sporting precinct, some of the things that they're looking forwards to are field upgrades. So we're aiming to have fields like, if not better than, the Townsville Sports Reserve, which will be your training area. We already have quite a large number of facilities, but they are a little bit old and run down. So we'll upgrade the ones that we've got now in terms of like playing surfaces, of accessible toilets, of change rooms that you're able to use. They're also looking at club spaces so that you can have these kind of meetings out near the fields instead of having to be inside. They're multi-use spaces, so we can use them for, you know, inter-college competitions. We can have elite programs out here. A lot of universities have partnerships with elite teams such as the Fury. So, you know, there's a lot more to develop there. And also to use these for like exhibition matches and stuff like that. So plenty of room to move there. We're also looking at potentially getting like a running track and a training facility with an indoor gym, and also like another pool. We have one at the moment, but it's from potentially the 70s, I think. So definitely upgrades in that area. A multi-use indoor facility. So in Townsville, one of our biggest hurdles is the sun and also the heat, as well as rain sometimes. It's not at the moment, but one day hopefully it will be again. So the multi-use indoor facility is number one priority for us at the moment, with club spaces to use, with indoor areas that can be used by a multitude of different groups. The areas that we're focusing on basically is participation for women. So again, I know Townsville Football is doing really great things. One of the biggest movers and shakers in terms of local sport for women's programs. Lots of participation for women's soccer, so that's really great. It definitely fits with the JCU vision. And also getting the younger generation to come onto campus and to feel safe and to feel part of the JCU community. So that makes the transition from primary school to high school to university a lot easier. Education is really important, and I know that sport and education go hand in hand, so something we're focusing on. Like I said, the timeline is unknown at the moment. We've got a group working together, working group essentially, to come up with a strategic plan, but essentially in the next 10 years this is what we're aiming for. So state-of-the-art facilities, getting community on board and having a space that everyone can use, not just students. So that's about it. Does anyone have any questions at all about JCU and where it's going to go in the future? No? Oh good, cool. That's it, no worries.
Thank you, Teisha. All right, thank you very much. Okay, we are going to get straight into it. I'll let the two Mitchells loose.
Okay, thank you, John. Just want to touch on what Teisha said there. The whole idea about the football program, it's not just about football players, it's about actually building the whole person. That's one of our major focuses. So to have young people go from primary school to high school to university and create another opportunity or education, or become highly educated to actually move on in the world other than play football or use it as a vehicle, is what we're about. So it's about the whole person, not about us building little footballers. So thank you for your comments. Why did we start it? Obviously the demand in the last few months from the end of the season has been quite high, and our whole program is about trying to educate and give opportunities for players and coaches. We want to take a holistic approach to coaching. We'll cover that in a little while. The technical, tactical, mental and the physical components are distinguishable but not separable. That deals with the holistic approach, and we'll cover that in a sec. The requirements of the different approach to the coaching delivery. The way that we're actually trying to coach nowadays and build on having the players become decision makers is what we're trying to actually develop. It also adds to their technical skill set of the players, but also develops decision makers within the game. And we also want to try to implement, and we've been toying with this idea for the last couple of years, about growing the mindset, or a growth mindset in developing the player. So if you've done any studies on it or you've read anything about it, fixed mindset is very closed, believe that they can't get any better, are born with natural talent. If you're a growth mindset player, you actually take an approach where you always want to try to get better. Challenges actually, if you feel that you're not good enough, you can actually challenge yourself to actually grow, and that's where we want to try and take it as a player as well. So just moving on, John. Okay, as Ken said, our culture. John, just flick through the next slide for me. Okay, this is the mindset that we're looking for. Obviously, Go Full 90's on the side where we want people to be. Embraces challenge, pushes through setbacks, believes her effort makes a difference, uses feedback and criticism as a way to improve. Now, that's probably one of the big ones. There's going to be more talk as we go through the night about feedback. Can you actually take the feedback on board and use it and not be burdened with it? So we actually want players to develop this mindset, to have this character, and this is the culture we want inside the academy. We want people who want to learn and who are positive, who want to go forward. Okay? The other part leads to hard-working players looking to improve, create a calmer, a more open-mind athlete that is coachable and has more chance of reaching his or her full potential. All right? We believe if you've got those attributes, then you've got a chance to go further, whether it be to play at local Premier League level, to play in the Colts level, to go on to the A League, to play for Australia, whatever you decide you want to do, and that's what the Academy's about. It's not about everyone getting through to the top level, it's about you playing at the level you feel most comfortable at and that you can achieve. We might have somebody in here who's the next best doctor in Townsville. They might want to play football, so they might play in the local Premier League. It's not just about getting everyone through to the top level. But that's the mindset we want to promote inside the academy. Okay, some more. Fixed mindset, as Ken said. I'm either good or I'm not. When I get frustrated, I pack it in. Don't challenge me, I don't like it. Yeah, this is the mindset we want over here. I can learn. What can I learn with application? I get frustrated at my progress. I persevere. I want to challenge myself and grow. They're the mindsets we want. So this is the player that comes into the academy. We want you to come and learn because our approach is going to be a little bit different. As you hear us talk tonight, our approach is going to be about asking questions and giving you tasks and challenging you to actually become a better player. Ken and I aren't going to give you all the information. We're going to ask you to make decisions for yourself. So it's about decision makers. Some people might recognise this bloke and they're going to say, oh, they haven't won a trophy in a while, but we're looking through some information and exactly what our thoughts are on growth mindsets and people making decisions. Mr. Wenger had some words to say.
Let's not be fooled. The game belongs to the players. It's as simple as that, you know, and I believe, I'm strongly convinced that it's the players on the pitch. Why? Because the game is so great. You play 11 against 11. That's a billion of different situations possible. And no situation is exactly the same than the previous one. So the player has always to make a decision, perceive the situation, make a decision and execute. No manager in the world can absolutely tell the player exactly the second what will happen to him. The player has to make that decision on the football pitch. And you have to put them in a position where they can make clear decisions. And that's why you have great players and less great players.
So the mental side of what we want, composure, confident, committed, character, and a growth mindset. That's the culture we would like inside the academy. These are the characteristics we want from our player. As you see, as we've got a curriculum, part of it is the mental side of it. We can share that with you at a later date, but these are the characteristics, as I said, composed, calm, confident in their own ability, committed to the cause, whether it be one night a week, 3 nights a week, every night of the week. They've got the character and the mindset to grow and develop, not put pressure on themselves that they're failing, that they're willing to learn and they want to push forward. Okay, so our philosophy and vision is how we're actually going to go about bringing it to life. So Johnny, just please. Yep. So the 4 stages of problem solving in football. Perception, can you actually observe what's happening and actually gain some critical information on the game, and then actually start to recognise what's actually happening in the moment that you're in. The next bit is actually understanding that process and actually starting to look at and interpreting what actually is probably going to happen. And then the third part is actually your decision. The options you're going to take, are you going to take a high risk option, are you going to take a low risk option, and then are you going to be able to resolve the problem and execute it perfectly with the technique that you actually have with inside your body. So that's how we're going to work. All the moments within the sessions are going to have those components in it: perception, understanding, decision making and execution. So we'll try and work more often in a regular holistic approach where the game's intact, whether it be 1v1, 2v2, 4v4, 5v5, 8v8, so that the players are making regular, hard decisions and are learning by their experience. So, John? Curriculum in the phases of the development. Just move on, Johnny. Yep. So, obviously we're going to try and start about 8 years old and move on. As you can see the phases. Our football-specific basic training, playing together with a purpose and mastering the ball, will be where we'll start with the real young ones and obviously just continue on as the boys and girls get older. We'll still have those components in there. The game training phase, preparation for the highest performance and learning to shape the player of the future, learning to play the game. In those, if we don't play the game in the training sessions, then you don't learn inside the practices, and you need to learn inside the practices and rehearse what's going to happen to you on the weekend. And I'm not talking about another club playing, whether it's 4-4-2 and the direct, or whether you're playing 1-4-3-3 and it's build-up. We're talking about the small component of the game, the 4v2s, 5v2s, the 6v3s. It's the micro part of the game where the players learn to make the most critical decisions. What can you do in the tight spaces within the game and how do you build up? It doesn't matter where you start within the game, it matters where you end up. Now that's probably a little bit deep, but it means are the players aware of where they can go and where they can fill the spaces to keep the ball when they have it and to score the end product, to score a goal, or where do they go when you don't have the ball to deny the other team the goal? Because that's what the whole game's about. How many times you can score and how often you prevent the other team from scoring. That's it in a nutshell. And that's how we need to work. Obviously, as we get a bit older, football for life, whether you want to be a referee, administrator, coach, fan, supporter, player, as you get into those 20 plus years, perfecting the best performance and then also stabling the best performance so by the time you're actually 18, 19 and 20. Thank you, John. So, within their program and the feedback that's going to come and happen is we're going to use forms like these for our skill acquisition players. As you see, first touch, 1v1, running at the ball, striking the ball. And down here, right at the bottom, to great time and space, awareness and scanning. This is a little grab from the masterclass by Javi. As you see, scans to see where the defender is and then moves into space. The objective of him is that he seems to always know where space is, he seems to know where his teammates are, where the opponent is, and actually where he's going to take the ball or pass the ball. So it's those components that we're going to try and develop in the player. These forms are not like a report card, you don't fail. For the young players in here, there's no fail. It's about where you're maintaining your progress and what you need to improve on. So we're trying to maintain what you have, because every young player in this room, whether you be 8 or even 20, every player is a vessel. There's certain attributes inside you that you already have to understand the game. Our job is to maintain what you have and improve and fill it up even more. Okay, John, please. So how will we bring it to life? So, Johnny, yep. The rondo. The rondo is Spain's secret weapon. It was back in the day when they won the World Cup. Most of the other countries have started to use it now. This is one component of our sessions that we'll be playing and using every day that we actually practice. Yes, John? Defensive or offensive rondos, we can use them in any way, shape or form. The idea is about everything to do with the ball, how we attack, circulate the ball, while positioning, create space, position of the defenders, and how you make decisions in and around those spaces. Keep going, John, please. What are a rondo? A rondo is a game of where it's 3v1, 4v2, 5v2, 6v3. It's not possession. They're not possession exercises. They're actually positional exercises and they actually have direction. Because when we play the game, you actually play in a direction from goal to goal most of the time. It's about teaching the players how to make decisions based around overloads of defenders or overload of attackers, but playing in a direction. And we'll use those processes. So you can see at the bottom, rondo, rondo, rondo. It's not a song, but every single day, it's the best exercise there is. Xavi Hernandez. So, just, yep. The technical advantage, 1 and 2 touch passing. It's not about us stipulating it as a coach, it's about the players recognise when to take 1 or 2 touches. It's about them recognising and making a decision when they play. The rhythm and the play, the tempo. The rondo is also about whether you build up quickly or about you keep the ball and go slow based on what the defender's pressure is. Improve control because it's such and such a tight space. It might be 4v2 and a 15 by 15 metre grid. How good is their first touch? Do they realise where the space is to go? Can their first touch be away from the player? Can their second touch actually find another teammate, or do they need to start to move with it in the tight area? Obviously, this great man here, if God managed to play football in the sky, he'd have put grass up there. For all of you, Brian Clough, Nottingham Forest, that's for Ryan. Short passing. In our possession style, major passes will usually be 12 yards or under. Using the rondo gives players a lot of practice of playing, passing the distance and at the speed it should be at. Constant moving and finding the passing lanes. Because the defenders are in there, the passing lanes change very, very regularly. So it's up to the players to how they adjust on their touches, how often they scan and see where the other passing lanes, and how do they have the ability to be able to move the ball into a different passing lane if they're pressured by a defender. Improvisation. Most Spanish players, and that's probably become more around the world, can play passes with any surface of their body. Probably more so this year when we've been doing some things with the players that I've had. Little things where they bounce it off their knees, they're bouncing it off their thighs, they're bouncing it off their head, throwing it into each other so it bounces off their back. As a coach, would you stop it or would you let it go? I chose to let it go, and the development of their awareness and the brains that they developed multiplied day to day. So I just chose to let it go because of their awareness and their ability to understand what was going on. So those sort of things. Most passes aren't perfect. Players need to learn how to improvise to receive it or pass it. In a small space, a player has the ability to act quickly. A good player who needs too much time can suddenly become a bad player. And that, from Johan Cruyff, what that means is the game is getting quicker and the spaces are getting smaller. So can the players play in tighter spaces? Can they react and play? If there's too much time on the ball, you actually make 2 and 3 decisions. That's when it looks poor. The ability for these players, if they want to go on and on further in the game, we need to close the spaces and make them think quicker and more accurately. Please, John. Recognise when and where to overload. How to create a 2v1. We hear it all the time. How to create 2v1s, 3v1s, 4v2s. Where to go. That's why it's in the small areas. How do we create 2v1s in the back area of the field, middle third of the field, the front third of the field to create goals? Habits and repetition. So the same goes for the movement of the passing in the lines. For their teammates? How do they create, when do they take one or two touches? Through the contact or repetition, this becomes habit. What we mean by, and we don't mean by Bill and I passing the ball backwards and forwards, forming a habit. The habits are created by them starting to recognise some of the situations of whether there's a 2v1, how do they get through the line, or when do they play beside the line, what decision do they make by consistently practising the game, and they become into an informed habit of how do they react under the pressure, and when will they keep it with one touch, when will they play it with one touch, when will they actually play two touches. Again, the grid sizes, 10 yards or less, that's probably talking about that level, but we got down to about 15 by 15 this year, maybe 12 by 12 with 6 players in there or 7 players in there at times, and they dealt with it comfortably. All right, over to you.
Rightio. I'll give that to John if that's all right, Ken. Yeah, John's from NQ Physio Centre. He's worked with the under-20s at the Holden Cup, was it? Sorry. Yep, Holden Cup size of the Cowboys. So this man is well rehearsed in physio and in sporting injuries and sporting management of the injuries. So please welcome John.
So I'm really excited. I like treating this age group. Did the under-20s for 8 years. There's a lot that you can teach when you're developing kids. The role of a physio is probably well known. You have a niggle, you have an injury, you get it diagnosed, you get some treatment and you get some rehab if you need it. But when you come into an elite setup or an elite team, that's literally about a quarter of it. So the physio's job is injury prevention, load management. It just gets huge. So the most exciting part I'm going to bring into this program are those things. There's lots of good research coming out right now, mainly through like EPL clubs and football sides in the Middle East. There's about a dozen exercises that you can do that reduce injuries like you wouldn't believe. There's one new balance exercise that prevents ankle injuries by 34%. There's a hopping and landing exercise that reduces ACL injuries by 66%. But none of this is filtering down to sporting clubs and local teams and even through academies. So that's one thing that I'm really passionate about. I'm going to make sure we've got physios coming to these GF90 sessions just randomly. We can just hijack the warm-up for 15 minutes, go through those, make sure the kids are doing them properly. And also we teach you the importance of doing them when you go away from the academy. So that's just like a little quick load monitoring graph that we might give an athlete. One thing that's really common with injuries is you'll train and then something will happen. And the most common thing that people come to me in the clinic is saying, why did this happen? So what I go is we go back a few weeks and we start sort of tracking down how much running and how much sprinting you did. So up the top there it says overall running and it says HSR, that means high speed running. So what you do is you come up with like a rough number, it doesn't have to be exact. So let's just say you do like a 1 hour training session on the pitch. If it's something you do quite routinely, you might work that out to be about 3.5K. And you chase a lot of through balls, you did a lot of sprinting, so you might come up with about 500 metres of absolute full tilt running. Okay, so you jot them in your GF90 academy, and that's all you did for the day. The next day you might do a bit of school sport, some club sport as well. The next day you might do nothing. The next day you might have all 4 full. Okay, so what you can do is you can sort of generally track how much running you're doing week to week. Okay. So what we see when people break down is they have really poor load management, and they don't know this. Then it can be quite incidental. So that 5th week there, you might have had the flu and you had 3 days off, and your running for the week really dropped down. Okay. The next week you felt awesome, so you made up for that. You went for an extra run, did some extra training, and all of a sudden you've got this really ugly sort of loading. What we'll find is if you can kind of roughly track and graph how much running and sprinting that you're doing, you should just taper up very slowly, okay? So everyone's got a ceiling, everyone's got a pretty comfortable amount of training that they do. If you're a parent in the room and you've giving everything away and watch the kids, and then you put your hand up to play social touch and you've torn your hemi, I guarantee you your loads were sitting on the floor for a good couple of years, and then you tried to put them right up there. That's why it happens, okay? It doesn't actually mean you're old, it means you're deconditioned. So what we're trying to teach like elite people is that if you condition your body highly all the time, you'll be able to stay there. It's like if you have a car and you just redline it every day, your engine won't blow up because it's used to redlining every day. So we actually want kids training harder, training smarter than, you know, as they absolutely can, okay? So having these big spells and that are actually causing injuries. We want kids to know their ceiling, know what they can really, how they can push their body, and teach them how to stay there. That's how you become elite in the modern day. This is just an interesting thing. Kids are going to love hearing this, because sleep is like a free performance enhancing drug. So this Kitman Labs, it's monitoring software they use in the EPL, okay? So every time you wake up, if you're playing the EPL, you have to fill out this app, and it says how many hours sleep you had, what the quality was, what your nutrition quality was like, how you feel, what's your mood, you know, it goes for a while. They get paid the right money to do it though. So what they found is that 90% of people that tore their hemi had rubbish sleep leading up to that. So what I want to bring into this is what you can do off the pitch to help you stay injury free, to keep you training at a high level, and just expose you to some of those exercises I talked about that prevent injuries. Sure, like, you know, if you've got a niggle and you want some treatment, you come in any time for that. And one thing I do want to say is if you've got a physio and you really like them, I'm not trying to, you know, poach you to come over to me, but what we want to make you aware of is what we can do, what we can offer, and what I want to bring to this academy. When you come to the clinic, we have a partnership with them now where it's just a flat fee of $55 instead of $95. So that just lasts forever. And if you've got private health, it usually covers about $35 or $40. So if you've got private health and you come to physio, you should expect to pay about $15. Depends on who you covered through and all that. So that's just so everyone knows before you come in. Some parents that have kids that are sort of starting to tip the scales of that elite, they choose to get their kids screened, and that's where I do like a landing control assessment. Basically go over everything. There's lots of little bits of research to say if your hip abduction is stronger than your abduction, then you're more likely to get like a hip or a thigh injury. So there's lots of little things like that we can assess and just, you know, flag and just monitor and modify your training accordingly.
All good.
Any quick questions that everyone might benefit from? Do you want to shout out?
Girls, ACL.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So, you know, female athletes are 3 to 4 times more likely to do an ACL, which sucks for girls. So again, the landing control, the injury prevention stuff is just crucial. So when this academy is going and you're on the pitch, like, we'll definitely be coming out. We'll show you what it looks like on a video. And you can video each other. It's really straightforward, and as soon as you understand it, you know, you'll be able to coach yourself through it. It's just really important that it's seriously, it's like 2 or 3 exercises, takes 10 minutes, and 2/3 ACL's gone. But again, that's something that I'll probably talk about more at length on the pitch in front of athletes. That's the best time to do it.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you, John. That was awesome. Yeah. And I'll say it, if you are going to other physios, that's fine. But yeah, seriously, consider these guys. They've got an awesome setup out there. The office is out on Thowangower Drive. So it is a bit of a hike for the sports reserve. But yeah, John and his team are happy to make it, which is awesome. And we'll have them out there regularly as much as we can, doing warm-up sessions, warm-downs, but also monitoring information that we're gathering. We're going to get, teach the kids how to fill out their own score sheets, things like that. That'll be happening so that the kids are educating themselves on, how to manage their own injuries. So, I thought that was a very important part of the academy, and Bill and Ken, agreed straight away that we needed a partner who was already, set up with a professional league, but also will do the entry level and monitor the kids from start. So, all right, well, let's just go on to the next slide. Sorry, one of our other partners that we mentioned earlier. So, Escape Travel. they have offices at Castletown. The city are probably our closest ones. Now, they've kindly offered a membership program. So you'll notice at the bottom there, our Go Full 90, the name of the business, not-for-profit I should say, is the code that we'd like everyone to use, whether you're going on holidays for your family and you happen to be going through Escape Travel. Obviously the team at Escape Travel are excellent. My mum worked for them for 15 years and yeah, she was more than happy with the company, and because it's a local company, again, it's owned locally. So yeah, if you are doing any travel through Escape, please mention Go Full 90. So what happens there is that we actually get points for travel points, okay? Now that'll come into play later on in the Academy's life, but we also actually get physical cash dollars to spend on equipment, facilities, tours, whatever else comes up in the future. We've got these reward points and reward dollars coming through. Okay, so I should say that if we're going to be using these guys in the future for our travel requirements, but if you guys are going out of town, please consider them just for small trips, even just accommodation, bus hire, car hire, things like that. So awesome. All right. The next slide is about our friends over at the Sports Reserve. So obviously Bill and Ken have got a really good relationship with these guys, and I'll hand over to Bill now.
We spoke to Dennis Russell, who's the manager of the Sports Reserve. They're actually going to go through a rejuvenation process of the two fields again at the end of the year. But what Dennis has said to us is we will use Field 2, that's the field at the top of the screen, and then the little area over the back we'll use Field 3 as well. But if Field 2 shut down, we'll actually get to use Field 1 to train on. And we've negotiated with them times, Mondays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays. They were more than accommodating, and we'll advise when the days are to start the academy. If people haven't used the Sports Reserve, dressing rooms are located underneath the grandstand. They're just being rejuvenated, $750,000 worth. The little building in the middle is another set of dressing rooms that we get to use as well. Anything we need, there's portable goals there. The lighting, we've got an app to turn the lights on. Anything we need, Dennis and them are more than accommodating. So as John said before, it's like playing on a bowling green. It's not like being at Wallaroo where the pass hits you in the shin. So the Sports Reserve's a great facility. We're very lucky to have it, and very thankful for Dennis and the guys down there for the work they do.
Okay. Next one will be where the kids get a bit interested, hopefully. We can wake them up. All right, so we're talking to Redline about a quality training kit. Okay, so GF90 is going to team up with Adidas, okay, and Redline will be providing that equipment. You'll see, to start off with, we're going to have a white jersey with a red stripe, okay, black with white striped shorts and the black socks, okay. So again, we were trying to find something that was neutral, but the studies Bill and Ken have done actually shows that the red, white and black is one of the most preferred colour combinations by children. So I'm going to say it has to be me and you. So, all right. So yeah, that will be the kit to start with. That's what everyone's going to be asked to purchase as our training kit. Eventually, we will obviously grow this, and this will become hats, bags, jackets, through winter, things like that. Obviously, we're just starting off where everyone would like to start off just entry level, and then we're moving on to the bigger and better things with the training kit as well. Okay, so that'll obviously be logoed. We're not going to put numbers or anything on them because we're not actually going to be doing like competition games as such straight away. All right, there will be a chance to do little tournaments, and back where we were talking about the Sports Reserve, you can talk at the same time. It's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me to shut up.
What John said it's red, white and black. We didn't do the survey. Some guy did the survey when the A-League was going to originally start, and they came up with the survey, and that's what kids mostly liked was red, white and black. It's probably something that's neutral. The reason it's neutral is because the academy's neutral. The academy is an independent organisation attached to any club. So the way it works is players come in and the players go back. We're not affiliated to any club, any organisation. It's only affiliated to that person there, and that's it. We've got partners, as John said. We'll partner and work with anybody. If anybody wants something that they want us to do, whether it be coach education, individual sessions, and we'll talk more about those sort of things in a minute. It's about the body being independent. So anybody can come in and anybody can go back out. They're not tied to us in any way, shape or form, and we're not tied to anybody. We'll subcontract to people, we'll work with people. If a club comes to us and wants us to do some coach education, we'll discuss the matter with them. If you want to do individual sessions, we're prepared to do that. If they want to be 6 of you to do it, and if you want to train 3 days a week, you want to train 4 days a week, as long as the sports reserve's available, the facility's available, we'll do it. So please, it's John, Ken and I. That's it. We work with anybody and we decide and negotiate with people to make sure the best happens for everybody. And more so what Ken said and what Arsene Wenger said, it's not about us, it's about the players. Whether they're 6 or they're 26, the target age group for us is 8 to 18. We will talk to people about kids 7, 6-year-old. We will talk to people who are over 18. We'll talk about coaches. That's what our mantra is. That's how the academy's set up, and that's why it's been set up.
Okay.
Okay. So it's, as I said, it's an independent organisation that is organised by the three of us, and we're the three that do the discussion and the negotiating. And we've been very lucky to get John Crawley and North Queensland Football Centre on board, and obviously Escape, and obviously work with Marco Castor with Red Lion. And hopefully there's more partnerships to come, and we're working on those at the moment. So hopefully there's some more news to come out in the next few weeks.
So yeah, I'll just add on to that, and this is something I stressed to Bill and Ken, and they they were exactly the same mindset as me, that our academy, when the family or the kid arrives or coaches arrive for education, it is guaranteed by us that there's no chat about which club they're moving to next, who's going to poach who from the academy, things like that. There is going to be absolutely no chatter or parent chatter about any moving or taking kids, moving them around. So if we find out about that, I don't want to put it down on the situation, but I just want to point out how strenuous we are, or how strict we're going to be about player movements and things like that. There'll be investigations, there'll be an inquiry. You won't get shot, but there might be a kid missing out on the academy for all the wrong reasons. So let's just make sure that we keep the integrity and the honesty that we expect from all of you guys. You'll be getting the same from us. Okay. So in saying that, obviously we are a not-for-profit organisation. Okay. So for those who don't understand that, we're not a charity. We can still keep the profits in the company, but we cannot take the profits out of the company. Okay. So there is all of the dollars that the parents spend, that we get from reward points, that we get from sponsorship, that we get from grants, and the good thing is we are able to get grants, okay, will stay inside the academy and benefit the kids and the coaching staff and people to move forward in football in general, okay? So keep that in mind, please, after we see the registrations. All right, so we've done a bit of market research. Okay, this is where my sort of help was asked for into working it as a not-for-profit, but also making sure that we're covering costs. We're not going to go away anytime soon. All right, we want to be a sustainable not-for-profit organisation. that can keep going. You know, these guys have got a little bit of life left back in them still. All right, so we just want to absolutely keep going with Townsville football and not just make it a 2-year plan or a 3-year plan. Okay, this is a long-term plan. All right, these are fees that we thought were very fair and reasonable. Okay, and if you break it down, if you do your math, you know, we're looking at you know, $20 to $25 a session in some cases for the one session per week, 10-week term, things like that. If you break it down even further to the 40 weeks and things like that, we're going down to $18 a session and things like that. So, I mean, $18 for an hour and a bit of training. You know, that's in my world, that's pretty good education, considering you're getting it from the professors. So, let's move on as well to. We're not going to leave you out. Goalkeepers, okay. Obviously, Kenny is a very experienced goalkeeping coach, and I'd say one of the best in the country. So we were definitely interested in offering a goalkeepers package. Okay, so yeah, if there's, I can see a fair few goalkeepers in here already, and I hope that you guys realise that the academy is including absolutely everyone, whether you're an outfield player or a goalkeeper. Okay, and that is obviously I'm pushing obviously for male and female participation to be, you know, female participation, if not be better than the males in this academy. So we're going to be pushing that envelope as well. All right, now I don't know if anyone's savvy enough to find out that our website went live this afternoon. Okay, so all this information, or not all of it, sorry, but most of the information that you need to get going in registration, contacting us, expressing your interest, all went live this afternoon. I should, I'm not going to say this is definitely going to work. I should be able to click that and hopefully things start happening. All right, so you'll notice that we have a front screen there. Hopefully no one knows those kids, but we will be getting some photos, obviously photo opportunities as soon as the academy starts and the kid has arrived. We will be, you know, filling the GF90 with consented photos. All right, so I'll just scroll through a few things really quickly. Our mission is loaded there. Our coaches haven't been loaded yet, and our partners have. Okay, so I'll just I don't know if Bill and Ken would like to touch on the mission there at all. You can read it, just. All right, so yeah, our vision, obviously, to develop highly skilled, creative players for the modern game with excellent ability to perceive football situations, make decisions and execute effectively. All right, so that's one of the main visions for the business in Academy, sorry. So yeah, going through this, we'll obviously have our registration options up there as well, and those tables I just showed you are now live on the website. Okay, so if you want to reference those later, please do through the website. And I'm not sure if this is actually working yet. Yep, there you go. So that's all starting to work as well. All right, guys. So that'll come through to the GF90 emails, and Bill and Ken and I have all got access to that. So most of the time will be these two answering it, but occasionally you might get myself and I'll make sure I sign off as John on those as well when we get back to you. All right. So yeah, please utilise that as much as you can for your reference, and obviously contacting us. But then we've obviously got all our Facebook page, our Twitter, and our Instagram, I'm told, is very popular in the young folk. All right, so I know the Facebook's handy for me, but I'm just getting used to Instagram, so we'll have to, we're using Bill's sons as our social media coordinators at the moment. They're savvy with it. All right, so we'll just go back onto the presentation that we had.
There's going to be 2 formats to the sessions. The training sessions for the younger ones are going to have 3 components in them. There's going to be an introduction to the school. There's going to be training at the school. Then there's going to be a game. With the older ones, there's going to be 4 components to the training session. One will be a warm-up passing. The second bit will be the positioning games Ken was talking about. The third bit will be where we actually do some training in the game based around defenders, fullbacks, or however we see the situation arising. And then the last part of the session will be a game. In all the sessions for 8-year-old through to 18-year-old or older, there's going to be a game at the end of the session. The reason we're going to have the game, whether it be 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, 8v8, is so we can actually see whether the players have made the decisions or understood what they were doing, where it was in not as strict defensive pressure to more defensive pressure till we get to the game situation where they're actually going to be making lots and lots of decisions based on where the defenders are, where their teammates are. So every session will finish with a game of some sort, whether it be 1v1, 2v2, 5v5, 8v8, 6v4, so there's going to be a game at the end of each session. So that's the component, that's the structure we're going to work on. And as John said, it's going to be 1 hour and 15 minutes, the sessions, and it's going to be 1 session a week, 2 sessions a week, 3 sessions a week, or we'll discuss and work with anybody to see whatever they want to do. Yeah. So.
All right. So at this point, yeah, we're appreciative for everyone coming. At this, I know it is a school night and the first school night. It's probably not great timing, but we really wanted to get the information out there, engage with the community. I'm looking forward to the session afterwards more than the actual presentation, because we get to chat and talk about the future of this academy. So if there's any questions, please ask them now if you can, in regards to any of the stuff that we presented here, so that we can get everyone hearing the question itself, and we can answer it as a whole. So yeah, please, if you've got any questions, please mention them now. Anyone? Come on. Don't be shy.
Is the 40 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah, so the 40 weeks are the 10-week blocks out of school terms. Yeah, so we understand that this first term that we're doing starts late, so we are actually starting on Tuesday the 17th of October, okay, which will be the first night. Now we've purely done it on the Tuesday this time, so that we don't interrupt any 6-a-side competitions, and we won't be interrupting any futsal competitions with our training offerings as well, so in this off season. So things like touch training, whatever else the kids are involved with. Unfortunately, we can't cater for every sport, but we're definitely showing some respect back to the other clubs and organisations that have organised the futsal and the football events. So it'll be Tuesdays, Thursdays probably to start with, and depending on where futsal lies for each age group, it'll be a Saturday or a Sunday as well. It'll be available. Okay, so that Sports Reserve has been very opening arms to us, because they can see as well what the future is of this academy, and then they have got there's Rugby League World Cup training sessions coming up there, so the kids might be getting nudged around a bit, but we'll make sure they we can fit in all the sessions. So we're planning on using half a field for one session, another half a field for another session, and then the other little field 3 for another session. So at any one time there's a minimum of 3 sessions going at once. Okay, and that can be different age groups, different genders as well. So things we've got to discuss, and that's going to be an engagement with you guys as well, is if there's someone who wants a women that want to train with the boys, by all means, welcome to. If there's women that just want to train with the women's team, or sorry, when I say team, I'm saying the academy group session, that's fine as well. So there is absolutely no dramas in catering, for most people in this scenarios. I suppose, what was the other thing we were going to say? Oh, so when the academy starts hitting those gaps like Christmas and things like that, we are planning on camps and training sessions and things like that to continue, and possibly some tournaments. The sports reserve is well lit, as you'll see, so there is no problems going through summer having a few night games and things like that. And the sports reserve said, we've got 1,000 lux of lights. We want to use them now. So, and the LED lights are very low cost, or lower cost, I should say, compared to what they used to. So they are happy to have people walking in the door at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So we will be encouraging that along the way as fast as we can and get that going as fast as we can. Bill, did you want to say anything about camps and colleges or anything like that?
With the camps, we're thinking that we could run a residential camp at Christmas time. So players would come in for 2 or 3 days, live in. What we do is we train, play and video the game and analyse it with them at night, and then send them back home after 2 or 3 days, so mum and dad can have a break for 2 or 3 days over Christmas. That's one of the plans. We don't know what age groups yet. We've got to talk to some people about the facility. As John said, tournaments. We've had people contact us from Cairns and Mareeba and other areas talking about playing games, whether we'd be interested in playing games. We're also interested in what you want to do, whether you want to form groups and go to Brisbane. We're in discussions at the moment with a couple of people down there about whether we go down over school holidays or go over weekends, and we can organise games and that down there. But that's going to be something we leave to you guys, because obviously you've seen the costs. Those tournaments and stuff will be an extra cost, but that's up to the parents. So there's something we're willing to and wishing to work with you guys with.
Yeah, and that's where that escape travel and Red Lion will come into play. They are very experienced of people are putting together simple little tours, but also local tours, but also some long range tours as well. All right. Has anyone else got any other questions? Yes.
There was a mention of trials on the Facebook site. Trials.
Did we say trials?
I think we're not actually going to have trials. It's open to anybody and everybody.
Got me out there.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
It's open to anybody and everybody. Obviously, there's going to be different levels of ability when they come in. Our philosophy and our idea with the game training, the game decision making, is that it's self-paced learning. So people come in and they learn, and the quicker they learn, the better the decision is, the quicker they get through. So to another level. So what we want to do is we'll work with anybody and everybody, and it's going to be based around their decision making. It's a game awareness, decision-based, self-paced learning environment.
I guess it was probably one of my earlier posts, I think. So I apologise for that in saying that there's no hard trial period, or there's no hard trials and yes or no cut-offs. Okay. What it's going to be is an ongoing trial period, I guess, for both us as a group. So are you happy with the services we're providing? Okay. And then the other thing will be, is the kid or adult or whatever it may be, that's the person who's part of the academy, do they want to be there every time? Okay. If not every time, are they showing up 3 times in a couple of weeks, not wanting to be there? We'll start having a talk to the parents, guardian, if the child's not enjoying it. If the guardian is getting, or the guardian or parent is getting a bit, I wouldn't say loud, but if there's people in the academy that we are sort of trying to harness their enthusiasm, I will say, enthusiasm is a good word, harness their enthusiasm in a positive direction. Okay, if we see someone who's being negative towards a player, or whether it's their son or daughter or someone else's, there'll be a pretty swift pat on the back. How you going, mate? Can you just relax? So things like that will be part of the academy. It's again part of our culture, and it's a very important thing that we find that the academy is a safe place to go. Okay, and that's whether you're a staunch club person, whether you're a staunch rep person, you can feel safe when you come into the academy. You're not going to be hassled, harassed, yelled at for the wrong reasons. Okay, Bill and Ken occasionally go a little bit crazy, but it's only if you deserve it. So look, thank you for the question. That's brought to my attention. I'll make sure I sort that out. All good? All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope we can. Oh, hang on, we've got one more question. Sorry. Yes.
Why is there a difference? Because it's one-on-one most of the time, or two-on-one, three-on. We're hoping to keep them as small as tight and possible. So it's going to be more of a tighter group, more expertise going into what they're doing, compared to one coach working with about 16. So it's going to be take more of the time up.
Yeah. So
what they deliver, and you're probably going to find that with that situation of how they work, it's going to probably take up more of the time of the coach to actually prepare the session because of how individual it is. Especially with the individual, if there's 4 in the group and each one of them needs something separate on how they're specifically going to deliver it. So just working with Ryan and talking about Ryan about how we actually deliver it when we actually have a little bit of a disparity between the players was actually going to be a strong key with it.
And I'll add to that on the not-for-profit side of things. The coaches will be getting an allowance. Okay, there's going to be no hiding the fact that these guys are training to be elite coaches as well and at elite levels. That means if they want to go for their C licenses, B licenses, A licenses, there's a cost involved. Okay, so that license is part of their education. Like uni, you have to pay for uni. So we're hopefully going to help them along their way with allowances and remuneration to support these guys and make sure they are part of the culture and the coaching staff for a long period of time. And the benefit of the player. Sorry, yes. The kit. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. The kit. We've got the kit at $80, okay? So the Adidas shirt, shorts and socks, all right? Again, there were other options that were slightly cheaper, wasn't much, and when we've actually got some samples, and when we had a look at them, the Adidas was the best quality and probably has the longest life out of most of those jerseys that we trialled, yeah. So it wasn't just unfortunately, good quality isn't always going to be the lowest price. So, but I think again that's a very close figure to what you'll find in most kits. Okay, so all right. Okay, anyone else got any questions? Oh yeah.
So just with the coach and coach, are you going to be running them fairly regularly and stuff like that? I went to do one through Campbell this year and then they cancelled because no one put their name down for it.
You've got to qualify.
Yeah, different format. With Football Australian, Football Queensland, with the coach education system, they need 12 people. When you come out of the course over the 2 or 3 days that you're there, you'll actually come out with accreditation. What we're actually going to do is actually ask and invite anyone to come in and have a look, and you'll actually see what we're doing. It's not going to be an accredited course. The accredited courses would have to be something that would have to be run through NQ Football and Football Queensland. But also just elaborate. Just to elaborate on that, we still want to pass on our experience and knowledge that we've gained over the years. So we also have the ability to also contact other people that have worked at some very good levels to hopefully bring them in the future. That'll be in negotiations about how we bring those experienced coaches here to run those sort of workshops. So that's more about what we're probably going to be about, bringing different types of experienced level of coaches into Townsville to actually pass on their knowledge to, because most of us know that the course does only gives you a certain amount of update or background, and then for the coach to approve, you need to actually go and research and evolve yourself outside of doing those courses. And if we can bring those sort of people into this region for you to tap into and network with, that will also hopefully give you a bit more experience and actually increase your knowledge base. So that's probably what it's about.
Okay. Have we got any more questions? No? Okay. Look, yeah, again, it's great that we're receiving questions, and very valid questions, because we didn't cover everything, and we haven't put this presentation together covering absolutely everything. Bill and Ken have also put together a curriculum. There's other parts of the academy that will be released or worked on, and it is a work in progress, like anything. And we are looking forward to it, and any feedback that we can get as well as an academy is going to be worth its weight in gold. So I really appreciate you coming. I hope you've enjoyed tonight, and please hang around, because there are some platters out there with wraps and stuff for the kids if they're starving. And there's some water out there as well. So, all right, guys, and so please make your way. It's just outside here on the tiled area.
If you could
Thank you very much.
through the door over the far side, please.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.